My name is Ode Godwin Agbaka, and today on Everything Sociology 24, we dive deep into the life of a man whose footsteps were carved into the foundation of Nigeria's military and political history. A soldier, a strategist, a survivor, and above all, a reluctant power broker. His name, you may ask, was Major General Robert Adeyinka Adebayo, a man who escaped death not once but twice in two of Nigeria's deadliest military coups. A man who turned down the crown of power and instead buried two of his slain comrades. This is not just a story about a soldier, it is a story of sacrifice, honor, and redemption in a nation haunted by its own turbulent past. In January 1966, Nigeria was on the brink. Dissatisfaction, tribal tensions, and military ambition collided in the nation's first coup. Adebayo was away in England, attending a military course, but fate had just handed him a lifeline because the man who filled in for him as chief of staff was assassinated. Months later, in July 1966, the second coup struck. Adebayo, back in Nigeria, was staying in a guest house until an uncle's invitation to sleep over in Ikoyi saved his life once again. That very night, soldiers raided his guest house. They were likely coming for him. Had he stayed, Nigeria's history might have taken a different turn. As chaos engulfed, the army and senior officers fell. Adebayo was next in line to take control. But instead of seizing power, he stepped aside, allowing Yakubu Gowon, a junior officer, to become head of state. Why, you may ask? It was a northern coup, he later explained, and I didn't want to deepen the divides. Instead, he left quietly and became the governor of the western region. And one of his first acts, he recovered the bodies of General Aguiyi Ironsi and Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajuyi, brutally murdered, and gave them a dignified and befitting burial. Long before the Civil War, Adebayo met a sharp, young administrator named Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu in Umuahia. Impressed by his intellect, he encouraged him to join the military. Years later, Ojukwu would lead the breakaway Republic of Biafra. Despite their roles on opposite sides of a brutal war, mutual respect lingered. They never became enemies, just men shaped by history's cruel ironies. By 2001, Nigeria had seen decades of military rule, and the wounds were still fresh. In a rare moment of public reckoning, Adebayo stood before the nation and did what few soldiers ever did. He apologized. And I quote, "In the spirit of national reconciliation, I unreservedly tender my profound apology to Nigeria and Nigerians for the parts I played in the military rulership." End of quote. It was a gesture of humility from a man who had seen too much and perhaps done too little to stop it. Adebayo lived long enough to see his children rise, one as a state governor, another as a rugby star for England. He also chaired the Yoruba Council of Elders, speaking for wisdom and unity in his later years. But in March 2017, just one day shy of his 89th birthday, the man who once outran bullets quietly passed away in Lagos. He was born a soldier, shaped by duty and remembered as a statesman. Robert Adeyinka Adebayo's life was a mirror of Nigeria's own story. Heroic, flawed, and unflinchingly human. In the end, he left behind more than medals and memoirs. He left a nation that must continue to reckon with its past to build a more just future. Thank you for watching. My name is Ode Godwin Agbaka, and to be updated on more historical facts and more, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel.